Today I'm doing butterflied pork butt for amazing bark. Hey, this is Ricer from Dead Broke BBQ, Wisconsin, and welcome back to the channel. But if you're new here, we try to help you enhance and amplify your backyard barbecue fun. Now, amazing bark, I got it! So grab your samurai sword and some pork butt, JP. We're gonna amplify some backyard barbecue fun. Today I'm doing some boneless pork butt, but we're gonna butterfly these up because I want a lot more bark. And I'm using my dull strung 6-inch fillet knife to butterfly these up. Before I pull this knife into action, I wanna thank Dull Strung for sending me these knives. They also sent me this big cleaver, and that's great for chopping. And I've needed a new chef knife for a while, and this is gonna do the job for sure. It's Damascus steel. So if you need a good quality knife, check the links below. It's pretty easy to butterfly up some boneless pork butts. And a lot of you are saying, Ricer, you just did boneless pork butt. Yeah, I did. But I got drafted or picked to be in this Pitmasters BBQ YouTubers challenge, and I got pork butt. But this time we're gonna butterfly these up so we get a little bit of extra bark for the win. And who doesn't like a little extra bark in their pulled pork? I mean, it's extra flavor. And to butterfly these up, it's pretty simple. You can see, because it's already boneless, that it's been split. We just kind of want to try to get this as even as possible when we're cutting down it. Just gonna take my sharp, extra sharp dull strung and start cutting this down so we can flap this over a little bit. That's it. Voila. Now just repeat on the other one. I like to get it so I can see where the thicker part is, because I want to follow right along this. And it kind of has a little bit of a fat cap groove that you can kind of follow. You don't have to be fussy on this. This isn't going to be fried up as a steak. This knife is really sharp and it cut through this pork butt with ease. So if you're one of those guys that uses your wife's flowered colored like chef knife, you know, with all the pastel colors, and you're sitting there trying to cut up your own pork butt or brisket, check the links below. Trust me, you'll thank me for it, because now you'll have a really cool looking knife. It kind of looks like a samurai sword. Who doesn't want to be a samurai? Now you can butterfly this any way you want to, but this is the way I prefer to do it. The rub that I'm using today is the 2 Pig Mafia Salt and Pepper. I've used this rub before and it develops a really good crispy bark. So we'll just start sprinkling her right on. And you can go heavy. This is a big chunk of meat, so don't worry. Get her nice and covered up, especially in those little pockets. You can find some of them. It's just a little extra love and flavor. Get a little bit on the sides, obviously. And the other rub that I'm using is the Jackpot Carolina Gold from PS Seasoning. It's a mustard rub, so it's a must. You gotta put it on pork butt. Now I'll go ahead and get a little bit of, just a little bit of our mustard on here, and look at that pretty yeller. Woohoo, doggy. It is beautiful. And tappity tap, tapper tapper. I need some tap shoes or something. Now while these set and sweat, I'll meet you out by the Pit Boss 1600 and we'll get these butterflied pork butts under some smoke. All right, let's fire up Baby Huey. Just turn the power on. And we're gonna run them on smoke, but open up the lid and let all that white smoke out of the chamber. When I leave Baby Huey on that smoke setting for about a half an hour, I get a little bit more smoky flavor on any of my proteins. And the pellets that I'm using in today's cook are the Lumberjack Fruit Blend, and that's cherry and apple. And we all know cherry and apple goes great on pork. And obviously this is the white smoke that I'm talking about. You don't want any of that touching any of your food, so leave the lid open, and once it starts burning clean, close it up and preheat it for a few minutes. You're gonna hear that afterburner kick in, and once that happens, it starts burning clean. So just close up your lid and let it preheat for about 10 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do. So she preheated for about 10 minutes, let's get these in. Now today I'm using my middle rack. I don't want the meat to get any radiant heat today from this bottom rack. It gets a little bit hotter right on them bars. This one we'll put right up here. I wanna try to keep it closer to the fire pot. The way you put these on are the way they're gonna cook. So we wanna try to get them as level as possible. And that just helps promote even cooking. Now we'll close up the lid and set a timer for about a half an hour, and then we'll come back out here, and then we're gonna crank it up to about 270 degrees. I'll see you then. My 30-minute timer went off. Let's go ahead and turn the Pit Boss up to 280 degrees. That's real simple, just pushing the knob, and we're gonna turn it right up to 280 degrees. Now I'm gonna use my ThermoWorks signals, and we'll put in some probes, and we're gonna wanna put these in a thicker part of this pork butt I'm gonna say this chunk right here looks pretty good. And it's starting to smoke up pretty good because I just cranked it up. And this last one, for right now, I'm just gonna go right about here. Now, as I start cooking these, I am gonna rotate them from left to right, and we'll also turn them 180 degrees. I wanna make sure that I'm getting some of that excess moisture that's gonna be building up in these crevices off. That way we can develop a really good bark. And I did run these fat cap up. When you have them on that middle shelf, it doesn't really matter if you go fat cap up or fat cap down. But I thought, why not do it like how they do in the Carolinas? They always run it fat cap up. Close up my lid, and then I'm gonna set a timer for 1 hour, and then that's when I'm gonna start the rotating process. I wanna run these up until I like the actual bark that I'm looking at. I'm 4 hours into this cook, and it's been running great, but let's go ahead and check out these butterflied pork butts. Now these are rotated. The one on the right is reading 157, the one on the left is 151. So let's get in here and rotate these one last time. Oh yeah, we're starting to develop some good color. Now the moisture that I'm talking about is just this little bit right here. I just shake it off. This has still got plenty of moisture, but we just don't want this pooling up on that part right there. Swap them around end for end. Again, and the same thing with this one, get that juice off from there, shake it a little bit, because at this point, we don't want any of that pooling up because we're striving for bark. Bark equals flavor, and that's what we're striving for. And the moisture, we'll get that when we start bringing these up to probe temperature, when we throw them in an aluminum pan. So the next time you see me, I'll be getting ready to put these in an aluminum foil pan. Now I get asked this all the time. What do I do when I'm not filming? Well, I'm like all you barbecuers. I drink beer and eat cheese curds. What do you mean you don't know what cheese curds are? They're these, and they're delicious. And man almighty, oh God, do I have a special for you. If you want to get some of your very own bags of cheese curds, because Westby Cooperative Creamery loves Dead Broke BBQ so much, they're even offering a 10% off coupon code. Yeah, coupons, we all love coupons. Now the promo code is Dead Broke BBQ 10. And that's gonna save you 10%. Now you have to hurry fast because they stop shipping them at the end of April. They start up in the fall sometime, but this way, you're gonna get some cheese curds before May. So if you wanna take home some country goodness yourself, check the description below. They even got pepper cheese curds for all you hotties out there. I tell you, makes beer a lot better. I think their pepper curds are their best. Got a good kick. I'm 6.5 hours into this cook, and the pork butts are reading 171 to 175 degrees. But before we check and see how this bark is looking, I want to tell you a little bit more about this YouTuber's BBQ Pitmasters challenge that I'm in. I'm going up against JP Barbecue, and he's a really good cook. So if you are a Dead Broke BBQ fan, you're gonna have to help me try to win this one. And this competition is being ran by none other than Smokin' Joe from Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue. There's 20 contestants throughout the YouTube barbecue land that are involved in this. And you have to go over to Joe's community tab to vote. And yeah, I'll have the links in the description below for that too. I'm gonna have a lot of description in there. All of you viewers have a chance to win your very own pellet grill. And it's a beauty for sure. And good luck, JP. I know you're pushing me to my limit on this cook. All right, let's go ahead and check these out. Wow. Now we are certainly getting some super bark on this. And yes, we're warming up some Pabst Blue Ribbon beer for our braising liquid. I live in Wisconsin. Everything goes with beer. Pull our probes out for now. Now this foil pan is gonna be pretty tight, but these are already starting to get tender. It's not gonna take long at all. Awesome. Just a couple pieces in the puzzle. Get this one right here. A little chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Makes me say hi-de-ho. There we go, get this little beer in here. That's good. Time for a little bit of aluminum foil. Get that on top of here. Close her up, and we'll just start feeling around and find some of the bigger parts and put in some probes just to monitor for a little bit. Oh yeah, here's a nubbin. Right there, that'll work. Thank you. Slide her back in a little bit, and we'll close up the lid and set a timer for like 30 minutes, but I'll keep on monitoring my thermal work signals, and once I get around that 200, 202 degrees, I'll start checking for some probe tenderness. We're 8 hours into this cook and those butterflied pork butts are reading right around 207 degrees. It's time to get them out of the chamber. Open up the lid and we'll pull out our probes. We'll get the aluminum foil off and man almighty, it's really starting to get some good bark. I'm happy with that. Grab my trusty Dash, and no, not that Dash from SDS BBQ, but he's a good guy. Check him out. Oh yeah. This is done for sure. No resistance at all. Now I'm gonna leave the aluminum foil open so they stop cooking. We want all that steam to get out. And I'm gonna leave the foil off until this bark starts to set up again, because once it has all that moisture, it gets kind of mushy. So just leave the foil off 15 minutes or so. And after the bark sets up, we're gonna let these rest for about an hour and a half, and I'll meet you by the cutting board when it's time to pull some pork. These butterflied pork butts have rested for almost 2 hours, but first I wanna thank Westby Creamery for sponsoring this video and sending me those cheese curds. Thank you very much, Curtis. I really appreciate it, man. And second, I want to thank Joe for coming up with the idea to do this. It got a lot of different types of YouTubers involved. Plus, make sure you watch JP's video. I mean, we are going head to head on some pork butt. He's a really good barbecuer and he's got a couple LSG or Lone Star grills that I'm really envious about. Good luck, man. It's March 24th and you've got 3 days to head over to Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue and get into his community tab and vote for all the people that you want to win. This is to get into the playoffs. Now, obviously, you probably want to vote for me, but don't be biased. Pick the best cook, or just vote for me. And for all of you Pit Boss subs, this cook was done with the new updated firmware controller. But enough talking, let's start pulling some pork butt. As I said earlier, I was striving for bark. This has bark. It's awesome and I've used this rub combination before. It's a winner on pork, especially if you like a little bit of peppery flavor on an oinker. Let's get to it. Now when I pull pork, I just put on a pair of cotton gloves and some nitrils over the top of them. I don't use those fancy claws, but I'm gonna tell you, this is tender. This is breaking apart like butter. Lots of moisture, lots of steam. Woo doggy. But if we're looking for bark, I achieved it. We certainly have some really good smoke ring in here. Might as well tear this one apart too. Just smushy, smushy. Oh yeah, beautiful. This is pulled up good enough. We can make sandwiches out of it, but let's go ahead and try our bark first. Winner. Beautiful moisture in here. It's drooling. I gotta have one more bite. Wow, for me, this is spot on barbecue. And if you try this style, make sure you invite some of your buddies over that barbecue, because they're gonna say, how'd you get so much bark? And you just tell them, I learned it from Ricer. This pork butt is packed with flavor. It's incredible. Thank God I didn't shave off my mustache. This way I got a flavor saver. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become a subscriber. Turn on that notification bell because you don't want to miss my next video. And make sure that you vote for me. You know, Mario. I appreciate you watching and I'll see you in the next video. This is so good. If I don't win this, it's rigged.